Williams.
And I'm Billy Thomas.
And welcome to another edition of From the Woods Today.
And Renee Williams is on assignment, but welcome to From the Woods Today. We're excited to have you with us. We've got a great show, got two amazing guests. You've seen them before, but they're always heavy hitters and they bring some great content to us. We're going to have Miss Frannie Preston talking about forestry careers. Frannie is the coordinator of our Kentucky Forestry Works right now. And we're also going to have Miss Laurie Thomas on talking about a tree of the week. So really excited about today's show. If you do have questions for either of our guests, please use the chat function. If you're a YouTube viewer or a podcast listener, thank you. And you can get questions answered via email at forestry.extension@uky.edu. But I'm glad to be with you all today. Again, Renee Williams is on assignment, but she'll be back with us next week. But we're going to keep From the Woods Today going strong. And we're going to get things started right now with Miss Frannie Preston. Welcome, Frannie.
Thanks for having me, Billy.
Oh, Frannie, it's a pleasure to have you. It's always great having you on here, and you've done so many different topics for us over time, but this is one that I've kind of been working with you a little bit on recently, working with some of our youth out there in this Forestry Works program and forestry careers. It's really impressive what you all are doing. You've really assembled a big team that's really addressing a really important issue here in Kentucky.
We're trying to reach as many people as possible. So again, as Billy said, I am Frannie Preston. I'm the coordinator for ForestryWorks Kentucky. And today I'm just going to be talking about some careers in forestry. So if you are watching this and you are looking for a new career, maybe you're in high school or you're an adult looking for a change, this is for you. If you're an agent, I'll talk about an agent training that we have, but this is also for you. And if you're a high school teacher, this is for you as well. So I want to just give some background about ForestryWorks. Again, that's what we're coordinating here out of UK's Forestry Extension, but it's a collaboration between the Forest Workforce Training Institute and then a bunch of partners within the forest industry. And it's all about educating students and parents and teachers about career opportunities in forestry and giving background knowledge and spreading awareness of forestry issues in general. So at ForestryWorks is a multi-state organization. There's 10 states that are part of it. And here in Kentucky, I'll talk about a program that we are doing through ForestryWorks. But again, ForestryWorks is here to introduce people to forestry, educate them about forestry topics, prepare them for entering forestry careers, and connect them with individuals in the forestry professional setting. Okay, so here in Kentucky, we are doing what is called the Forest Worker Certificate Training. And this is our ForestryWorks program that we are implementing in high school classrooms. We've done this, we've talked about it on From the Woods Today, so you can go back a few weeks and learn more about it if you'd like. But it is a program that we're implementing in high school classrooms. High school ag teachers get certified to teach it in their classrooms, and then they teach their students, and their students become certified forest workers. We also have a field course, which I'll show some clips from here at the end of this. We have a field course for high school students to go through the Forest Worker Certificate Training, learn all about forestry at UK's Robinson Forest in a really immersive, hands-on way. And then we also have an agent training where you can go through the program if you're an agent, and that actually starts tomorrow. So if you are a county agent, especially a 4-H or an A&R agent, go register for the training or shoot me an email with any questions about it. So again, high school students, high school teachers, county agents, you can all be part of this Forest Worker Certificate Training. And it's to give background knowledge on forestry and then also information about entering forestry careers. Okay, so ForestryWorks, if you just Google ForestryWorks, you'll see they've got a really cool website with a few different parts on it. So one of their biggest parts on the website is the career profiles. And some of the jobs that I'm going to be showing today, they're all on here, and there's a lot more jobs on here as well. So if you're looking again, for a forestry career that you might be interested in, they've got a bunch of information about different careers on the website, and it's split into different categories such as advocacy, logging, forest management, manufacturing, and then specialty careers. So here's what it looks like on the website. And then you can click on a bunch of these different careers, and they've got career cards that shows just kind of a summary of what the job looks like, education requirements for it, and then average salaries. Now, these are national average salaries, so they're pretty similar to what they'd be in Kentucky, but there might be a few differences. So here's what ForestryWorks careers look like on the website. So go ahead and check those out. But we're going to be talking about a few of the main ones today, a few of the main categories. And we'll start with logging careers. So companies that manufacturing forest products, they all have one thing in common, and that's that they need trees to produce those products. So in order to get trees, we need loggers, of course. And logging crews across Kentucky, typically they'll be from 2 to 8 people. It just kind of depends on how big of an operation it is. And there are typically no education requirements for being on a logging crew. It's more of an on-site job training or experience operating heavy equipment and chainsaws and things like that. So some different logging careers include heavy equipment mechanic, log truck driver, logging equipment operator, or logging worker. So as an equipment operator, you would fell trees, which means cutting down trees, of course, using a skidder to skid the trees to bring them to a central point, loading them onto a log truck, and then moving and unloading trees. You also have to be able to operate a bunch of different machines like a skidder or a feller buncher or other machines, just depending on what kind of logging operation it is. Another job that you might find on a logging site is a heavy equipment mechanic. That's pretty self-explanatory, but they're checking the equipment for proper performance and fixing things when needed. And then truck drivers, log truck drivers, of course, are needed to take the logs from the logging operation, bring them to whatever manufacturing facility. So again, with logging operations, typically no education requirements are needed or just a high school diploma or equivalent. However, with, of course, whatever machines you're going to be operating, or if you're going to be a log truck driver, you might need your CDL or special training to operate that equipment. And you can look at the salary down below.
Each tree growing in the forest has its own unique features, but not just anyone can unlock its potential. It takes skilled professionals who understand how to harness, navigate, and conquer this rough terrain. Hand felling remains a crucial skill here, requiring precision, experience, and an intimate knowledge of the land.
My name is Earl Brown, and I'm a Kentucky logger. My dad was a logger, and my grandpa was a logger. Yeah, there's always going to be needs for loggers. I mean, that's like, there's always going to be a need for doctors and lawyers and all that. So it's the same thing.
Logging workers are known by many titles, including loggers, heavy equipment operators, logging operators, and hand fellers. They are a crucial component of the forest industry supply chain that identifies merchantable timber, assesses terrain and environmental elements, and harvests timber using heavy machinery and chainsaw. A logging worker that harvests timber in steep terrains will operate machinery such as feller bunchers, skidders, loaders, dozers, and chainsaws in order to fell trees, transport them to a loading area, and load them onto trucks for shipping.
My favorite thing to do on the logging job is to run the tree cutter, which is the excavator. You can cut the trees by hand with chainsaw. You can run the skidder, drive truck, run loader, cutting up the trees, loading truck. Or if you got the opportunity, hop on a tree cutter, run dozer, building the roads. There's a bunch of different jobs you can do.
Being a logger is a fast-paced and physically demanding job that requires hand-eye coordination and attention to detail. Possessing technical and mechanical skills are crucial to being a logger, as in-woods maintenance on heavy equipment is typical.
Every day it's always different. Some days you get a cut, some days you're working on equipment. Just being outdoors, that's pretty awesome. You get to see a lot of different stuff and learn about the trees.
There are no formal credentials required to be a logging worker. On-the-job training is available for most positions in the logging woods. This job is right for you if you like operating big machines, working with your hands, and enjoy spending time outdoors.
Hard work's going to get you far in the logging industry. You want people to know who you are. You want to work hard. You leave your name out there so people know you. ForestryWorks for me is a career.
For more information on becoming a logging worker, visit ForestryWorks.com.
Pretty cool video, isn't it? So if you want to see more videos like that, you can go to ForestryWorks YouTube channel, and they got a bunch of them there. So that's just a summary of logging careers, thanks to ForestryWorks and our Kentucky loggers who participated in that video. And next up, we're going to talk about management careers. So you're going to see this can also cover kind of a wide range of things. But management careers include the ones you see here. I'll talk about a couple of them. And it's just kind of the people, again, that are managing the forest. It's pretty self-explanatory. And so a land management forester might manage a forest that's owned by large corporate or industrial landowners. A procurement forester is one that's going to be purchasing timber from landowners and then working with different facilities to provide that timber. A consulting forester is a common one that you will find, and they are providing consultation to landowners and for timber sale, but also other forest management ideas. There's also government foresters, pretty similar. You would have in Kentucky, the Kentucky Division of Forestry. You've got GIS foresters, which use GIS to help manage forests. And then there's also forestry technicians, and this is one that we kind of want to focus on, especially as one of the more entry-level careers. They perform a lot of the same functions as a forester, but they are more on the ground, kind of doing the boots on the ground work. And most of the time, a forestry technician only requires a 2-year associate's degree. So for education, now in Kentucky, if you're going to be a forester, you will need a 4-year degree in a Society of American Foresters accredited university. And in Kentucky, the one that we have is UK. I'm not just plugging that because I work for UK's forestry department. That is the only school in Kentucky where you can get a 4-year degree through an accredited university. But again, to be a technician, you can get an associate's degree. And of course, we've got a few different schools you can go to for that. And there's the average annual salary, but we saw a lot of different jobs on the screen. And so the salary in education, of course, is going to vary per job. All right, so manufacturing careers is another kind of big segment of forestry careers that you might be interested in. And this, of course, is also going to cover a whole bunch of different jobs, from crane operator, heavy equipment operator, human resources, IT specialist, log grader, millwright, procurement forester, sales representative, saw filer, truck driver, welder. Pretty much anything that you could think of as being needed in a factory is going to be needed in a wood products manufacturing facility as well. So for education, a lot of times there are entry-level jobs that just require on-site training and not necessarily any education requirement. However, when you're working your way up, when you're working in a mill or another production facility, you might have to just get some on-the-job training as well. And of course, these salaries going to vary depending on what kind of job. But I will say for manufacturing jobs in the forest industry, they provide oftentimes some of the most stable and best paying in rural areas.
Each tree growing in our forests has unique features that will give it a unique purpose once the time comes for it to become a forest product. There is a growing demand for professionals who can identify those features and purpose. Lumber grading plays a vital role in ensuring that lumber is used adequately and efficiently. Lumber graders evaluate each piece of lumber's quality and usability. They check for defects like knots, cracks, and bends, which can affect the product's final use.
So as a lumber grader here at our facility, the day-to-day is, inspecting piece by piece, right? You're in essence cutting out the clear parts of that board as it's coming down the production line at you. I often like to tell people you're counting money, right, as the board, as you turn each board. So, it's a big responsibility. You've got a lot of decision-making on your hands, and so they're putting a lot of faith in you to count the money all day long, right, as the product exits the facilities.
Every board is meticulously graded and marked, determining its best potential use. These grades ensure that resources are primed for utilization so that the consumer receives a high-quality product. By sorting lumber into categories, graders help sawmills and manufacturers get the most value from each piece of lumber, reducing waste and optimizing production. To be a successful lumber grader, you need to be proficient at math and have an eye for detail. Lumber graders must attend courses to become certified to grade lumber for forest products manufacturing companies. These courses normally last for multiple weeks, and at the end of the training period, the student is educated in the rules and regulations of lumber inspecting and how to perform those tasks.
You're trained right before, and you do have to have your head on your shoulders, right? Because you're doing not necessarily math all day long, but you're trying to maximize the most yield and things you can out of that board. So you have to be paying attention, right? It keeps your mind busy though all day long. You don't have much time to wonder. So that's one thing I like about it is you're constantly problem solving in your head.
This process is a blend of art and science that ensures sustainability and efficiency. For more information on becoming a lumber grader, visit ForestryWorks.com.
Pretty cool video, wasn't it? So that covered being a lumber grader, and then just some other common jobs in manufacturing. Then there's also some secondary careers, of course, and these are things like cabinet maker, carpenter, furniture maker, and home builder that are also, we would include as forestry careers. And then another one we want to talk about is as specialty careers. It might be covered up by the bar, but I had to flex my picture of me holding a barn owl. So specialty careers include things like education specialists, which is what Billy and Laurie and I currently are, drone pilots, economic developer, forestry pilots, land surveyors, outdoor adventure guides, parks and recreation officers, professional hunters, and surveying technicians. So these are things that you might not have considered being forestry careers before, but you can see it covers a wide range of topics. We talked about, manufacturing careers, management careers, and logging careers, and then these more specialty careers too. There are a whole bunch of different jobs in forestry, and so pretty much whatever your personality and interest, there's probably a job in forestry for you. So real quick, I wanted to talk about our ForestryWorks field course, and we just had our first field course 2 weeks ago at Robinson Forest. And so I wanted to show just some of the students that participated in this. And again, they went through the Forest Worker Certificate program at the forest. So they got to learn all about forestry and then learn about some forestry careers they might be interested in. So I wanted to show just a little highlights of what the next generation of forestry workers might look like.
Logging. I love big equipment, heavy machinery. I've been around them a little bit as a kid, and I just want to be around them more.
I could see myself doing logger. I've worked around heavy machinery my whole life. I love working with heavy machinery. I've always had a close passion with the forest, but I could also see myself working as a millwright. I grew up on a farm working with my hands a lot. I do a lot of machinist work. I think that would be a really interesting part to be able to work in sawmills and on heavy machinery.
Maybe being a financial advisor for a forestry company. So it's not like I will really work in forestry, but I will still have an impact on the way certain companies like run their stuff and like provide cheaper and more ways for them, and also more ways to help the environment that way.
I could see myself doing something to do with wildlife biology, maybe like fish and wildlife type thing. I would like to do something to help with conservation, and I think I would like to do something with education too.
I see myself doing something in wildlife biology and like helping with like conservation and management of wildlife in the forest, but also something in wildlife education.
So again, just wanted to highlight a few of our students who were at the field course, and just to goes to show a lot of them came into that field course not knowing anything about what forestry meant, or they might have changed their idea about what forestry meant and got really passionate about one of these forestry careers. So ForestryWorks, you can see it's a good program to be a part of. So where do you start if you want to join a forestry career? Again, just join ForestryWorks and go through the program and learn all about what forestry means and then what kind of careers you could be interested in. Again, if you're a high school student, if you're a high school teacher, or you're a county agent, you can be part of this program. Or also, if you're just an adult individual who wants a change in career and wants to learn more about forestry, definitely reach out to us and we can help you get through this program as well. And then, of course, just get experience, ask questions, and meet people. That was something that our students at the ForestryWorks field course learned a lot about. It's just asking a bunch of questions, asking the professionals that they learned about what their pathway in life was, what they like about their job, what they don't like about their job. It's important to meet people and connect with people. And then most importantly, just getting outside and learning what, of course, you love about the forest, what you enjoy doing in the forest. Of course, that's the most important way to learn. Now, if you are happen to be watching today and you work or you own a forest products industry, we have a job board on the ForestryWorks website, and we're trying to get some more jobs posted for Kentucky because you saw those great kids who are excited about pursuing a forestry career, and we want to give them a central location to look for forestry related jobs. So we do have a job board again that you can post jobs online with. It's free, it's really easy to use. It's again like centered towards forestry careers, so it helps people look specifically for that job, and you can link to your job board. So again, if you know about job openings, or again you have job openings at your facility, this is a really great way to share that with students, because the students who go through the field course know about it, and any student who learns it in the classroom or anyone that a county agent is talking to will know about this job board. So you'll get a really great pool of individuals. So thank you all today for learning all about ForestryWorks and forestry careers. Hopefully you found something that inspires you. I've just got a link to the job board right there, but it'll also take you to the website. Just want to give a special thanks to Stephen Rogers with the Division of Forestry, who helped a lot with this presentation, and then the ForestryWorks education team.
Good job, Frannie. That was awesome, man. I really, having been down there with you and those youth recently, it was really inspiring, right? They were really passionate about this, and this program that you are coordinating is really impressive. So a big pat on the back to you for the great work you're doing. Also encourage our viewers out there, please help Frannie spread the word about this, right? We need more kids into this program. We need more jobs for this. It's a great opportunity also for educators and leaders in the communities to kind of get educated about this and share it with the youth in their communities. So Frannie, really nice job. Really appreciate the work you're doing. And Laurie jumped on. I know, Laurie, you're part of the ForestryWorks team, you and Chad Nyman as well, and you all have done a really nice job with this effort.
Yeah, it's Frannie, this is
I know.
awesome. You've done a wonderful job. The videos are fantastic of the students that were with us at the field course. And it's true. Like she said, they came in there not knowing anything and essentially kind of got like a condensed 4-year degree almost. And just to listen, I mean, we recorded that on Thursday. They had been there since Sunday, and they were still that excited. It was, you did a great job. It's a great program. And I'm just saying it to everybody who's out there that if you've got students that think they're interested and they just like being outside, they think they're interested in natural resources, the ForestryWorks field course is a great opportunity for them to at least experience it before they make some decisions for their future. And it, again, we'll have it again next summer. It'll be that second to last week of June down at Robinson Forest. And right now, because we are grant funded, this is a grant funded program, the students can essentially go to the program for the field course for free. So do keep that in mind as you're working with some of your students out there. Some, let them know about this program. It was a great week with the kids.
Yeah, thanks to everyone who helped with it. And one thing I told the students too is if they all showed what forestry career they might be interested in, but I told them that even if they don't pursue a forestry career, it takes people in other careers caring about forestry to really make the world go round. So regardless of whether you know a student who wants to be a forester, wants to be a logger, or they just want to know more about the environment and why we should care about forestry, just send them our way.
Yeah, great point, Franny. We need as many champions as we can get. And we know you all, as viewers and listeners, you're champions of our forests and natural resources and our wildlife. Help us grow that audience, though. Really appreciate it. Way to go, Franny. Keep up the great work.
Thanks, Billy.
I look forward to having you on again and working with you on this amazing program that you're coordinating. Good.
I appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, Laurie, just stick around with us because you're our next guest. Really excited to have you. You've been doing these trees of the week for a few years now, and you've got a lot of them out there. But we got a really cool one today, that's for sure.
Yeah, we've kind of gone to more like tree of the month.
Yeah, there you go.
Exactly with but yeah, we've got a great one this week. It's one I really like this tree. It's great. I mean, because when I was talking to Renee, she's like, "Well, think about a wildlife tree." We did wildlife last week, and then we're like, "But wait, all trees are good for wildlife." So this is a smaller one of our understory, but a great fruit producer too. So check out the American plum.
All right, we'll have you back in a minute at the end, Laurie. Thank you. I'm gonna go ahead and get it going, folks. Give me just a second here.
American plum, Prunus americana, is a member of the Rosaceae family and one of 30 Prunus species found in the United States. It is the most broadly distributed wild plum in North America. It's also known as American wild plum, red plum, and goose plum. It is a small tree to large deciduous shrub that grows between 15 to 30 feet tall and up to 12 inches in diameter, and it grows its tallest in the southern part of its range. Trees typically have a single trunk that's often crooked with a broad reaching crown. It is a moderately fast-growing tree and short-lived. It is not very tolerant of shade and will decline with canopy closure, so it's uncommon in a late successional forest. American plum has very attractive spring flowers and edible fruit that are important wildlife food. American plum is a widely distributed tree from southern Canada south to Florida, with scattered populations as far west as New Mexico and Montana. It is mostly a woodland species, but can also be found in shrublands, pastures, riparian zones, and the edges of swampy habitats, as well as disturbed areas such as roadsides. It commonly forms thickets that can be almost impenetrable where there is enough light available. It grows best in nutrient-rich, relatively deep, well-drained, moist soils. It is an attractive tree or shrub in the landscape and used for screening, natural barriers, or erosion control, but its thorny growth and root-suckering habits should be considered when planting. The leaves are deciduous, alternately arranged on the twig, and simple in form. The leaves are oval to elliptical in shape and about 3 to 4 inches long. They have finely serrated margins and the leaf tip is sharply pointed. During the growing season they are green above and slightly paler beneath. Fall color ranges from pale yellow to red. The branches often have numerous spines and thorns. American plum is monoecious, which means a tree has both male and female flowers. The showy flowers are white and occasionally tinged pink, and they're very fragrant. They have 5 petals and they're about typically 1 inch across and usually in small clusters. The flowers bloom early as the leaves are emerging or even before the leaves have emerged. The flowers are insect pollinated, and with honeybees being one of the primary pollinators. The fruit is a round, fleshy, edible drupe, which is a one-seeded fleshy fruit. The plum is typically about 1 inch across, and it's usually yellowish to reddish purple. And the plum usually has a glaucous bloom, which means it's covered with a light, whitish, waxy substance. The seed inside the fleshy part of the fruit is like a smooth, compressed stone. They are sour to tart sweet in taste. The fruits may be solitary or in clusters. and the fruit ripens in mid to late summer, and the seeds are dispersed by mammals, gravity, and birds, as evidenced by seedlings popping up along fence rows. Trees produce good crops every other year, and American plum also spreads from root sprouts and from root crown sprouts. The bark of American plum is initially reddish-gray, smooth with many horizontal lenticels. As the tree ages, the bark becomes rough with irregular ridges and exfoliating curling strips. American plum provides food and cover for wildlife. The fruit is eaten by a variety of mammals and birds, including coyote, black bear, fox, grouse, blue jays, brown thrashers, and grackles. The trees provide browse for white-tailed deer and rabbits, and the flowers provide nectar and pollen for butterflies and bees. Due to its thicket-forming habit, American plum provides nesting cover for birds and small mammals as well. American plum is recommended for its drought resistance and is widely planted in shelter belts in the western plains. They are also useful to help control soil erosion. The trees are an attractive addition to landscape planting, but the thorny growth and root suckering characteristics should be considered. The fruit is widely used for jams, jellies, fruit leather, and they're an important tree for honeybees. Currently, as of 2021, there is not a national champion or a Kentucky state champion listed for American plum. Now for a few fun facts about American plum. American plum was extensively used by Native Americans, and researchers speculate that they were cultivating these trees near their villages long before Europeans arrived. Native Americans used the fruit fresh, they cooked it, and they dried it. They also used it for medicines and the roots to make a red dye. It is found in about 100 counties in Kentucky, according to the USDA Plants Database. The scientific genus name Prunus is from the Greek prinos, which means plum or cherry, and the species name Americana means from America. I hope you get the opportunity to get out into your woodland, a local park or neighborhood, and see this flowering American plum.
Beautiful tree.
It is. Yeah, it is. I was going to say, the fruit, we had it out at a park I used to manage, but we didn't have many of them. And, in an urban area, the fruit was always taken by wildlife before we could ever get it, that and the surface berry. But yeah, it's a great little tree. But again, something if you're thinking about in your yard, take into consideration, you want to put the right tree in the right place, because it does have that suckering habit and it has the thorniness on it. So it's not something you necessarily want to have around where you might be out and about with it. So, but it is lovely.
No, but Laurie, appreciate you putting that together.
So.
Yeah. No, it's cool. And like I said, very wildlife friendly for sure. So as are most of our trees, right?
Yes.
No, good stuff, Laurie. Appreciate you. Folks, if you all have questions for Laurie or Frannie, please let us know. You can use the chat function. We don't have any other guests right now. So if you don't have questions, we'll probably let you go early. But if you've got questions, we'd be happy to try to entertain those. I will say that I know we've got a number of viewers that have been joining us for the 2025 Woodland Owner Short Course. So thank you all so much. Appreciate you all being part of that. That program continues on July 19th with our first field session in Whitley County. So if you signed up for that, you'll be getting more information on that. But good job, Laurie and Frannie. Appreciate both of you all being on the program today. We'll look forward to having Renee Williams back with us next week. Like I said, she's on assignment this week, but she'll be joining us. And glad to have you all with us. Again, if we can ever do anything to help you all, you see anything happening in your woods, something you're not familiar with, let us know. Others may be dealing with it as well. And we want to help the whole community. So let's do this together. Yeah. All right. Well, I guess without any further ado, we'll go ahead and turn this thing off and get you all out of here. But thank you all for being with us today. And we'll look forward to seeing you next week on FromTheWoodsToday.com. Bye-bye.
From the woods today. From the woods today.